did this video take forever to show up, but let's just get on with the show. Now, with the success of Mortal Kombat 2, Midway certainly looked like it was on top of that glorious mountain, sharing its glory with other fighting games like Street Fighter. Not one to lose momentum, Midway in 1995 created Mortal Kombat 3, with mixed results. In terms of new characters, Mortal Kombat 3 added several. New to the roster is Cyrax, Cabal, Nightwolf, Sector, Sindel, Shiva, and Striker. And at this point, it's become obvious that Mortal Kombat 3 was definitely given a more modern facelift in comparison to the more Oriental-style previous games. I mean, just look at Sub-Zero's redesign. Definitely not ninja-like anymore.
In addition to adding new characters to the series, several old faces were given to Axe. No Raiden, no Reptile, no Johnny Cage, no Katana, no Molina, and no Scorpion. What? You can't have a Mortal Kombat game without both Sub-Zero and Scorpion. It's like releasing a Street Fighter game with Ken, but no Ryu.
Midway would quickly learn their lesson and re-release Mortal Kombat 3 under the new title Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3, because if you add the word Ultimate to anything, it's sure to attract many people. In addition to giving us back Scorpion, Reptile, Katana, and Molina, Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3 also gave us Ermac as well as classic Sub-Zero, Jade, and Cyborg Smoke, along with his human counterpart. But there still wasn't any love given to Raiden or Johnny Cage.
Alright, characters aside, Mortal Kombat 3 definitely changed quite a number of things from the last game. In addition to having your traditional punches, kicks, and blocks, you now have a run button, which you can use to close in on your opponents very quickly, or use it to set up the game's newly introduced dial-up combos. By inputting a specific sequence of attacks, you can chain together large combos and cause a sickening amount of damage to your opponents. Pulling off the combos can be pretty tricky at times, but when you do manage to execute one, I'm sure you'll be pleased with the results. Also new to the series is the ability to knock your opponents into different areas of the game. Nothing much to say about that, but it does look rather painful.
The blood and violence also makes a return, but now the overall cheesiness of it has been cranked up to ridiculous levels. I mean, wow. Alright, so apparently explosions give you extra heads, legs, and arms. Huh. In terms of finishing moves, every character still has 2 fatalities each in addition to the returning friendships,
Friendship? Again?
fatalities, and stage fatalities. But Mortal Kombat 3 also introduces animalities, where your character transforms into a killing machine and proceeds to absolutely devour your opponents. Now, to be completely honest, I don't really like this addition to the series. That's not saying it's bad, but I have loads of problems with it. First off, while every Mortal Kombat game had its share of balance issues, never has it seemed so bad here. I mean, buy it on Xbox Live, play online, and see how many Cabals and Cyborg Smokes you run into. These characters are ridiculously overpowered. Now maybe it's just because I suck, but something just seems wrong here. Secondly, a lot of the fatalities just outright suck. I mean, the first 2 games had fatalities that were not only a sight to see, but were also a hell of a lot more gruesome. But now, why doesn't the body tumble over? It just looks so odd that the body doesn't even move after that. Well, that was just lame. What the hell was that? The screen just fades black and all we hear is a scream? That's just pure lazy. I won't even bother complaining about how cheap the computer can be. I think I made that point clear in the last video. Finally, the production values of the game just don't seem to be as good as Mortal Kombat 2 was. I can't quite put my finger on it, but in terms of animation quality, presentation, and gameplay, something just feels, I don't know, off. Multiplayer is still pretty fun, but overall it just doesn't feel the same. Midway would eventually release Mortal Kombat Trilogy, which brings back just about every single fighter from all 3 Mortal Kombats. In terms of gameplay, it utilizes Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3's fighting engine, which is okay I guess, but the sheer amount of characters will make anyone want to own this game. It was released for the PlayStation, Nintendo 64, and Sega Saturn, with the Saturn version being a little more difficult to find. The Nintendo 64 version is the worst of the bunch, with lower sound qualities and less characters, so I recommend you get the PlayStation version. Personally, I enjoy Mortal Kombat 2 more, but if you're looking for something a little bit different, then by all means, try out Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3.
With everything making a leap into the 3D department, Midway would soon follow along with Mortal Kombat 4, which drops the digitalized actors and pre-rendered backgrounds in favor for fully 3D characters and stages. In terms of reception, it was well received. The combos were fine-tuned, the graphics were pretty nice at the time, and overall, it was everything you expect from a Mortal Kombat game. It would eventually be ported to PlayStation, Nintendo 64, and PC, where it remained quite nice, but overall paled in comparisons to the arcade version.
Eventually, Mortal Kombat 4 would get the Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3 treatment and be re-released for the Dreamcast under the title Mortal Kombat Gold. In addition to being an arcade-perfect port, the graphics were smoother and additional characters were added to the mix, making Gold the definitive version of Mortal Kombat 4, though personally, I'm still waiting for Ultimate Mortal Kombat 4 Gold Special Edition with the 87 Casio.
In terms of gameplay, it's Mortal Kombat. I mean, really, the biggest change between MK3 and MK4 was the graphical overhaul. Fatalities and stage fatalities are still there, but friendships, babalities, and animalities are no longer present. Why? Who knows? The only thing added to the gameplay was the ability to draw out weapons, which in itself isn't really worth it because pulling them out takes forever, leaving you wide open to a vicious attack. Single player is actually nowhere near as bad as it used to be, and you can reach the final stage quite easily now. So, why did it take them 3 games to fix that problem?
In addition to an easier single player, the game now has cinematic endings, which are absolutely hilarious. I mean, just try not to laugh when you see how cheesy these endings are. Now, for some odd reason, my disc of Mortal Kombat Gold won't allow me to play the endings. I have no idea what's causing the problem, so thanks to mksecrets.net, we're able to show you the endings.
The Black Dragon died with Kano. You're the last one, Jarek.
Never, sorcerer!
And just what exactly is Sector doing here?
Besides the addition of new faces and the jump to 3D, there really isn't much to say about Mortal Kombat 4 that hasn't been said about Mortal Kombat 3. I mean, if you like MK3, then you'll like MK4. This will also be the last Mortal Kombat to have an arcade release. From this point on, it would be console release only.
Admittingly, this is also where I started to lose interest in the series. I mean, I had my fun with Mortal Kombat 3 and 4, but nowhere near as much as I did with Mortal Kombat 2. It wasn't until the console Mortal Kombat games came out where my interest started to peak once more, but we'll save those for a later time. In the end, Mortal Kombat 3 and 4 are at best okay additions to the series. I can't stress enough how much I like Mortal Kombat 2 the most, so I'm just going to end it here before I annoy somebody.
One day we'll go into console Mortal Kombat games, but for now, there's other things to talk about. With that said, we're the Super Gaming Brothers. Have a good night. Thanks for watching. Support Ghostbusters.
I ain't afraid of no ghosts. I ain't afraid of no ghosts.